We gave our listeners an opportunity to ask us anything, and I am told they didn't disappoint. So here we go. We're each going to read a question, and we will all do our best to answer them honestly in the circle of trust and safety and our listeners. Hi, Mum.
Yeah.
We will see.
Oh boy. Okay, so it looks like the first one we have from Gemma Hall. What would be your zombie apocalypse hideaway or safe place? She says, I would totally pick a castle here in Wales. Ooh, good choice.
That is a great choice.
I would go for rural island in Scotland, like at the end of 28 Days Later. Or I have to say the prairies were pretty good because we thought about this a lot during the pandemic. Very, very cold winters. So I think you could do a lot in winter when the Zeds all
They're
froze.
slow. Yeah,
And kind
slows
of,
them down.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's so flat, you get a lot of visibility. So you're not going to get caught out in a hurry. So those would be my two choices.
Excellent.
No castles here in Baltimore. I think I would pick like a Costco. Lots of supplies, no windows. Could bar it off pretty easily.
Nice. Good choice.
I think I would pick a very tall but very slim hotel that had tons of food and that you could easily keep yourself safe in, like by blocking all the exits and stuff. Although I think my sister's lake house is probably better than any of that.
Yeah. We're all going to Daphne's sister's lake house.
Make sure to text us the address.
I will.
Yes.
I'll
Get
do
a good
that.
view. Yep.
It's a beautiful view.
Scenery.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a pontoon boat, so that's
Ooh,
even better. Yeah.
Nice.
Party on the pontoon.
Lake Zeds.
Yes.
Excellent. It's good.
So Megan Lehman said, do our partners and families have any idea exactly how cool we think they all are? What do they think about their podcasting and do they listen?
Oh,
That's very
we
sweet.
think you're cool too, Megan.
It's very
This is a sad question. For
Yeah.
me. And I can say this on the podcast because not one of my friends listens to the podcast. Not one of them. And anytime it's brought up in conversation, this is how it goes down. They spend 5 to 10 minutes completely eviscerating The Walking Dead and then asking me if it's still crap. And I'm like, well, one, if you listen to the podcast, you would know what I think about this. And two, I think the last time we were all together, I was just like, can we not? I'm not defending the show again. I'm not doing it. It bums me out a little bit because it's a big part of my life, and I feel like it sucks. It's hard because a lot of my friends are like, well, I don't watch the show, so I would listen to the podcast. And I'm like, yeah, fair. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily listen to a podcast about a show I didn't watch either. But when I think about the kind of, I feel often like it's a part of my life that like not a lot of people know about. And I don't love that, but I also don't want to foist it on other people. On the plus side, my mum does listen sometimes, so that's
Aww.
nice.
Hi, Mom.
She does not watch The Walking Dead. She did manage to set it to download like every podcasting thing ever, and then was like, "Why has my iPad run out of space?" And I was like, "Well, were you watching any of these shows, Mom?"
Yeah.
So it is weird. I've had a couple of times in life where someone has come across my path who's been like, "Are you from that podcast?" It's only happened once, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I am actually."
That is so cool.
But yeah. It's just a bit, I don't know, it bums me out a little bit because I do feel a bit kind of separate, but at the same time, I'm separate with an amazing community of people who are like, mine all mine, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris has not listened to any episode, I don't think, of any podcast I've been on, but over Christmas, I found out that my nephew, my youngest nephew, said that he listens to Run for Your Lives and he loves the way that we break down the movies by talking about the characters in a different way and not just doing a recap. So he liked that.
That's brilliant.
And some of my friends who are not into monster movies, but like disaster films, they'll listen to specific episodes of the podcast. One in particular doesn't like creepy things, but if we're covering something like Towering Inferno or like The Impossible, she'll listen to it because it's not about a creepy thing. So she'll listen to it. So, but my friends I don't think that they listen as much as I'd like them to. And if they're hearing this, I'd like you to listen to my podcast more.
Right?
Because I do share them
Yeah.
on my Facebook feed. But I don't know. I'm not sure how much they listen. They'll ask me how the podcast is going, but we don't talk about it that much.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a fun. You do feel a bit like, oh, I have this whole other thing.
Yeah.
That isn't really like I don't put it on job CVs or anything. Mainly because, full disclosure, because I swear too much and I don't want my future employers to listen to one where I'm like, well, fuck Negan, he should shut down this fucking asshole. And they're like, wow, this woman is mental. I'm like, okay.
Code of conduct policy.
Yeah, exactly. So part of me is, especially now, the job I currently have, one of the jobs I currently have, is a bit more like cagey about what you can do publicly and things like that. So I am a little more like guarded about it than I maybe used to be. But it's hard because you want people to enjoy it, but at the same time I feel protective of the show and I don't like having, I don't know, people can be quite sneering about it, like, oh, is that show even still on? And I'm like, evidently, I've just told you I podcasted about it last week. And I've found in the last year or so that started really annoying me again. So I'm just like, I'll just leave that.
That's so frustrating too, because, and I mean, I get it. I don't know when exactly, when, like if they watched and when they stopped or anything like that. But I'm like, if you're not watching it anymore, then I feel like you can't really talk about it anymore because it's come back and it's really good. And, I don't disagree with, issues that people had in certain seasons and stuff. But, it's like, if you haven't watched it, then I feel like you can't call it crap anymore. You can't, so I don't know, my opinion.
Exactly.
I've never told anybody at work that I podcast, but I do post about things on Facebook. And so all of a sudden, like people at work started talking to me about it. And that was really odd. Like my supervisor's like, oh, I know you podcast, and she hadn't listened to anything. So I think it was making its rounds at the office for a little bit, which at first, like, I was a little put off. Like, that's my secret life that you're not supposed to know about. But, like, I think it's pretty widely known now. Brian will listen to something if he's really into it, and he doesn't watch that much TV, but I think my whole family listened to House Podcastica Game of Thrones.
Do you know, I was thinking Game of Thrones, more people I knew would listen to that because it was such a cultural thing and like such a a lot, like it was kind of a thing almost all of my friends watched it, whereas I think the other shows that are more specialized now or have fallen out of favor, less so.
My nursing school friend Stu, hi Stu, how are you? He listened to all of Handmaid's Tale and he's so funny. He was like, y'all are some long-winded motherfuckers.
That should be our new tagline. Long-winded motherfuckers.
And then he said,
we podcast, so yes, we like to talk.
And then he said, I'm going to make a podcast about your podcast, and it's going to be 5 minutes long. But he listened to it and really liked it, so that was nice.
Don't listen to my 3-hour Dexter episode.
How about you, Rima? Do people in your life know about it?
So my daughter does, and she thinks it's like the lamest thing ever.
Hi, Rima's daughter.
Yeah, well, she's not listening, so you can say hello. She does not listen and has not ever listened. She thinks it's completely lame. That like you sit and talk about a TV show. Yes, I do. I just need that outlet, and I'm privileged to have that platform, and I'm honored that there's even one download, that any one person listens. So it's, it humbles me, and it's just, I don't know, it's hard to even talk about it, to think that there are people that actually listen, because for me, it's just an outlet to be able to talk about a show that I love, or shows, because we talk about lots of shows. So she thinks it's completely lame, and doesn't get it. But she's like, whatever. I do have a really good friend, though. We used to joke, because we're both lovers of podcasts in general. And, we used to joke before I have Strange Indeed, we should start a podcast, we could do that. So we used to joke about it. So she knows, and she listens and such, to, like, if we're covering a show that she enjoys. And she's listened to Deadcast for, like, we both, I think, started around the same time. So she's been a longtime fan as well. She thinks it's really cool. So, and she'll ask me about it from time to time, how it's going. And she's like, oh, I listened to that one episode. It was really great. So that's really nice. But I keep it fairly private. I don't talk about it with, like, coworkers, and I don't know. I know some people are like, oh my God, well, why not? Why wouldn't you promote it? And I'm like, well, it's not really that I don't want to promote it. It's just, I don't know. It's mine, and I'm real protective of it. And, I'm grateful for the people that do listen. And I'm always like, oh yeah, tell your friends to listen to us, but don't tell my friends or anyone. So I don't know. I'm kind of weird about it. I can't really explain it, but that's just how I am with it. But, so yeah, that's kind of what it's like in my life. So
this is a me question for you guys. Do you read reviews?
Yes, I do.
Rarely.
I do now. I didn't in the beginning.
Yeah. I kind of go back and forth, because I'm always like, yeah, it's fine. And then I'm like, nope, I don't like this. I do not enjoy having people tell me that I am annoying, so I'm going to stop reading.
Right.
I
don't blame
really
you
hard.
for... I haven't had any negative reviews about that were personal, but I've certainly read some that were personal, and it infuriates me. Like, I absolutely believe in constructive criticism, but, like, I've read some, there's just a theme of, like, not liking women's laughs or their voices, and those just make me insane. But, I mean, if you look at anything on the internet, you can see that there's a lot of mean-spirited people out there that are just out to hurt. So you just have to discount it. But it angers me for the people that I care about.
It interested me that a lot of the criticism that Karen used to get back in the day, it's certainly in the first couple of years of me podcasting with Jason, you could change our names for one another. Like, there wasn't it was just like, oh, they laugh too much. They agree with everything Jason says. I'm like, I agree with everything.
You so do not.
To the same podcast.
Are we listening to the same podcast?
There are moments where I step back and I'm like, do I?
Right.
But it interested me that it's things like, she laughs too loudly. I can't listen because of that voice. And I'm just like,
that's awful. Yeah.
It's really, it interests me. It made me feel better in a way to see that it was something that Karen had as well, because she dealt with it so gracefully. And there was a part of me that was like, I'm sure there are valid criticisms out there, but I had to learn to kind of not seek it out, I think, because there were some that would just get in my head and I would be like, no, I don't want to hear that my voice is weird, because I can't really change my voice.
Exactly.
It's something you can't change. In an accent. Like, well, this is how I laugh. This is how I talk. This is my voice. Yeah. I can't change it. And I guess if you don't like it, then just don't listen. Okay. Yeah. There's tons of other podcasts. Yeah. I mean, there's no shortage of podcasts on a variety of things. Go listen to someone else. And it's, it does, because I do want people to like me, which is weird, because I don't try to make people happy or anything. I don't look to please people. And I'm always, it's a weird dichotomy. It's like, on one hand, I'm like, I don't really give a fuck what people think of me, but at the same time, I want people to like me. So it's very weird. It makes no sense. And I'm contradicting myself. I know, but it's like, if you can't tell me something like legitimate about what you don't like about our podcast, or something that you don't like about the format, or something that I can't change and maybe take in, and if I hear it enough, and like something I would be willing to think about. But if it's like, oh, well, she laughs too much, or I don't like the sound of her voice, or she's dumb. I think someone compared me to Sarah Sanders once.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I'm like,
I mean, do they just want us to sit quietly and be like, yes, Jason, that is correct. And they're just like,
No, actually, they
No,
don't
Jason,
want you to be
that
on
is
it at
incorrect.
all. They'd rather have another
Yeah.
male on there.
Yeah,
It's so strange.
It's a weird relationship for sure.
It really is.
I'm grateful for all the
Yeah.
positive, and I hate that one negative comment can knock me down, but
Right.
it does.
And it's hard. It does stick with you, and it is the distance that people feel on the internet, I think, is quite interesting, which is, I think, why the relationship with people who know you in real life is quite interesting, because we've all kind of described keeping people at an arm's length with it.
Mhm.
And isn't that funny that sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm sure a couple thousand people listen to this every week, and that doesn't bother me, but I get, it's interesting. It's an interesting kind of thing to think about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've said it multiple times on our podcasts and other podcasts I've guessed it on. Look, I'm not an artistic, creative person. I wish I could draw or sing or like Daphne take pictures and have this, because I feel like I have the spirit of an artist, but
Yes.
I have like zero talent. So I can't, every time I try to execute some form of art, it's terrible, but I have that within me. So for me, my podcast is my art. This is my creative outlet. This is how I've chosen to kind of express myself, and it feels so personal. And you feel so vulnerable, for me, anyway, I'll speak for myself, behind this mic, and I'm putting myself out there, and I try to be as honest and upfront and transparent, and this is me, and so I put myself out there, and then to hear, when someone just, like you personally, when it's, like I said, not constructive or anything like that, but when it's like in a personal attack, it that's why it affects me, I think, so much, that's my experience.
Absolutely. And, like, honestly, I'm sure it's the same for all of us. Those bad reviews are like a tiny percentage of what's out there. But they stick with you. And that, I always think about that now when I leave feedback about something. I'm like, there is someone on the receiving end of this.
Yeah.
And like, if I have to make a complaint, I'm always like, it was not the staff member's fault. It was the situation. Right. But I'm, and I feel like sometimes I'm too nice about that. But I am like, you have to remember that there's someone there, and that, like,
human being.
This is none of our jobs. Like, we do this for the joy of it. We do this because we like doing it. And that's something I think to bear in mind, is like we're all doing it for the same reasons, kind of thing. And yeah, it's interesting. I derailed that one quite spectacularly. So leave your comments, leave comments and feedback at iTunes.com about how much I laughed and derailed that.
No,
my favorite review is still that 5-star one that just said "Office Ladies is better." I just thought that was really funny. I was like, well, why did you give us 5 stars then?
Yeah, what is that about?
I love that
I
review.
don't think I've seen that one.
That is.
It was great. It's just 5 stars. Office Ladies is better. I'm like,
well, thank you for the 5
It's
stars.
probably Jason.
Thank you
Jason
for the 5
probably
stars.
did that.
It's probably Jason.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's funny. I think I've got Daphne. Oh no, Daphne did that one. Wendy, it's you next.
Okay, this is from Jason Kabasi. He didn't pull any punches. Which The Walking Dead character would you date? Mine is Glenn. I wanted to pick all the gay guys because that's where I gravitate towards, but excluding them because I'm sure they would not be reciprocal. It would be Glenn.
Yeah. He's such a sweetie.
He's loyal.
Who would I date?
He's smart. He's funny.
And Stephen Yeun is a snack. He's so cute.
He's so adorable.
And very handsome. Like, they've done a lot of, like, kind of GQ-esque photo shoots with him since Minari, and he's very handsome.
Growing up, too,
Yeah.
He really is. I think, for me, I'd maybe date... before this final season, I would have said Maggie, but now I'm like, I don't know. She's kind of quite moany. She just complains a lot now.
Yeah,
she would be fun. So I'm sort of like, I'm veering away from that one. I'm gonna second Glenn, Wendy. Yeah, I'm gonna second that. Yeah. That's good. Or Jesus back in the day.
Yes.
But physically.
Yes.
Jesus is a cutie, but...
Yes.
It's cute, but man, he's short. I'm sorry. I can't. But he's absolutely adorable.
I don't have those problems.
You're making him sound like an Oompa Loompa or something.
Taller than I am.
Yeah, Tom Payne's only 2
I
feet
love
tall, I
him.
won't
I
tell
do.
you.
He's so adorable. He's and he's the nicest person, but
And he
I'm
smells
sorry. He does smell very, very nice. I have a picture with him, but look, it's a thing, and I'm a tall person, so, and I have to have a tall person as well, so, but he's absolutely adorable.
Would it be Daryl for you, Rima?
I feel like this should expand not into date. It should be marry, fuck, or kill, or marry.
I nearly suggested that as one of our topics.
Or date. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So if I have to pick date, because Daryl would probably be on that list as long as he's somewhat clean. I know people have an issue with that, but you know what? I like a little scruffiness. I like a little, watching guys work on like cars, and they get a little dirty and they're wearing the ripped jeans. That's
like, I think
that's a
there's
thing.
like actual mathematics behind that. Like, if you look at Aragorn in the Lord of the
my
Rings films,
God.
he gets progressively less hot the cleaner he
Yeah,
gets. Like, by the end of
100%.
Return to the King, I'm just like,
He's the hottest in the
whereas
first
at the
one.
start,
Yeah, totally. So,
oh my god, that entrance, woofed.
but
Yeah.
I think just to not be so like cliche, because I think I would, because I think a lot of folks would probably say Daryl. Probably a lot of folks would say not Daryl because they see him as dirty. But I think Ezekiel would be extremely ideal to date. I mean, this dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he is fine looking.
Mhm.
He has had a tiger. He's a big tiger fan.
He loves
and
animals.
He does love animals. He was like a zookeeper or worked at a zoo, so that's totally up my alley. And I mean, he was so, like, when we got to see him have a relationship with Carol, like he was open, he was supportive, sounded like he was a good lover too, so that's a bonus.
I was gonna say he has the energy
Yeah.
of a guy who you're like,
Yeah, like,
Like-
okay, I'm picking up on that.
Yeah.
So totally, I would definitely go for Ezekiel.
Oh, I might change my answer. How about you, Daphne?
Okay. Okay. So I like to laugh.
Mm.
I find that is just a quality that I look for, is someone that can make me laugh. So honestly, I would have to go with Abraham because I think he would make me laugh.
Oh yeah.
And I
Yeah.
like that. I do. I mean, I love Glenn. I think Glenn is awesome. Rick too is great. Jesus is wonderful. Tom Payne is just incredible. He and his wife just had a baby like this
Aw.
week,
Yep,
I think.
They did.
Is it mine? No, sorry. It's obviously not mine.
But I have to go with Abraham because I think he would make me laugh.
His one-liners
Yeah.
will get you, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
He's
They
handsome.
will. And I like to laugh.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And I remember him way back from being on 90210, like before.
Michael Cudlitz.
Yeah, way before he was on Walking Dead. So, yeah. I would have to pick Abraham because
Good choice.
I think he would protect me too. Like, I feel like that would be, he's super strong. So,
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think so. I've just Googled a picture of him on 90210. He looks legitimately almost exactly the same.
Yes.
But just like smaller face.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
All right. Jason also asked which one of us would win in a fight out of the four of us. Not me and Jason. Obviously, I would win. But
Yes.
which one of the four of
Okay,
us would win in a fight?
I want to answer this first because just reading that, Rima.
Definitely, Rima.
Yeah.
Rima.
Krav McGraw.
Rima was my
Rima.
instinct. Yeah.
No
But
question.
then I
I'm
thought,
honored.
I
Thank you.
bet Wendy's
I
seen
was
some
gonna
shit
say,
go down as a nurse.
I feel like I was gonna say, I don't know. Yeah, I'd agree because that's tough, and I feel like she's seen some things and probably had to restrain some patience in her day, and lot stronger. You might be
Yeah.
little, but you are mighty, is what I.
I think I duck really good because I have never been hit as a nurse, which is rare.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but so I think I duck really well. I've never been bit. I've come really close to being bit and hit, but never have.
So you're wiry, see? Yeah.
So I could
Yeah.
get
I'd also
out,
let
but I
it-
don't think
let
I could
it,
take
like-
anybody down.
And for the record, Wendy's background is like the freaking antler queen. So she's like sitting there like,
Same.
yeah, I could maybe win.
Not
I
messing
could maybe win."
around.
Yeah.
I'd still go with Rima. She's skills. She's got skills.
I'm wearing my
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Krav Maga sweatshirt.
You don't
can't
fuck with
see it,
Rima.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that next one's me, isn't it? Sorry.
No
So Jason's
worries.
got another one. Jason's just full of questions today.
He
He's
is.
trying to turn us against each
Yeah.
other.
I think
He's
so.
like,
See, we
"Aha."
don't fall for that. We don't fall
Nope.
for that.
Nah, bruh.
He asks, "How would your closest friend describe you?"
Ooh.
Gosh, I think my closest friend or friends would say that I am loyal. I'm a very loyal
Mhm.
friend. I will have your back always, even if you're kind of wrong. I will still have your back. I am passionate. I get
Mhm.
crazy passionate about things. I think, and maybe this is just me, but I would think that my friends would probably say I'm funny. I can be funny.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, maybe that's it. I'm stubborn. I'll say that. I'm very stubborn and hard-headed, so I'll be a little honest here. But I think in a good way. So yeah, I'm loyal. I'm
Amazing.
passionate. I think I'm kind of funny sometimes.
I think you're
So
funny.
yeah.
Yes.
Thanks,
I think you're
thanks.
Yes.
But yeah.
My closest friend is my cat. My cat would probably say doesn't feed me as much as they should.
Yep.
I would say loyal. Yeah, I'm feeling my Hufflepuff qualities here. I think my closest friend would probably say loyal, fierce, and funny. Those would be the three things I would hope they would say.
Wholeheartedly agree with that.
Thank
You
you.
are fierce.
We're all freaking hilarious and fierce on this podcast.
Mine, I asked my closest friend how they
Ooh.
would describe me. And they said, all the adjectives that mean something wonderful.
Aww.
All the happy things like amazing, caring, brilliant, wonderful.
Aww.
And which is it gave me warm fuzzies to like get that back because I think we all judge each. We're, at least in my case, I feel like I'm my own worst critic. So to know that that's how someone describes you or thinks of you it just, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So, and I like to think that I'm loyal and I'm caring and I do try to think big and care for other people. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it always feels good to hear things like that.
That's awesome.
I would say my friends would say that I'm sarcastic, generous, loyal. I have several friends that I've had for more than 30 years, and I stay in touch with people. It's important to me. Anwen, another person in the group, wrote me this amazing Christmas card, which made me feel really guilty because I wrote "Love Wendy," and she wrote this amazing message to me, and she said that she really loved my fierceness, and I loved that she said that, and it really touched me. But I don't see that in myself at all, and it was so
you totally
sweet.
Are.
But yeah, I would think, and nobody leaves my house hungry.
Oh,
Wendy.
that you are like the best cook and baker
Yeah.
that I know. That's, yeah. zombie apocalypse, protect Wendy. She's going to feed us, she's going to nurse us. And
Yes.
and she's got the
Save Wendy,
strategy.
save the
She's going
world.
to plan all of our safety and strategy in the ZA.
Amazing.
Okay, so Lindsay Schlicht says, I'm a massive animal lover, especially dogs. I want to know all about your pets. Rima, how's your dog's knee? We just went through another damn surgery.
Oh, I hate to hear that. Gosh. Well, I mean, if you've listened to my podcast, you've probably heard my dogs.
Yep.
So I have,
Bindi
and I talk
and
about
Nala.
them. Yeah, Bindi and Nala. I have an Australian Shepherd who she'll be 10 later this year. It's
Wow.
hard to believe it's been that long. She'll be 10 later this year. And just love her to pieces. Had her forever. And Nala is my lab mix. I think she's got some pit bull, but I don't tell people that because they freak out.
We just call those lab boxers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And she will be 6 later this year. So how are Nala's knees? It's actually both her knees. She's still about the same, but you know what? We have a consult with a surgeon the 25th of this month. And so we're going to see if there is something that they can do to help her. You know, she can get around, you know, it's fine, but she can't live her best life. And that is my goal, is to help her live her best life. She's still really young, and people, you know, I've said to people that, you know, I'm considering, you know, if she's viable for surgery, you know, going that route, and people are like, I would never spend that much money on my dogs. And I'm like,
Oh, piss off.
like, no, thank you, because that's pretty much what I say. I'm like, well, that's your choice, but you know,
Yes.
if this is something that I can do for, and again, it's a consult, so we'll see. Hopefully, it's something. It'll be something positive. Then I'm like, you know, my dogs, even before the pandemic, have been my source of comfort, and I know people who aren't maybe animal people don't understand that, but you know, my dogs have always been there for me and show the most unconditional love when I went through some really hard times in my life, and people that should have loved me and cared about me didn't, but my dogs always have, and have always been there for me when I've had a bad day and come home and it's just a terrible day or something bad has happened in my life. Always make me smile, always make me laugh, and they never have ever let me down like people have.
No.
So yeah, I value my dogs in my life. So yeah, that's who I have right now in my life, are my 2 dogs who mean the world to me. Hopefully we'll get some good news, but thank you, Lindsay, so much. I know Lindsay and I are both cut from the same cloth with our animals. I hope your sweet puppy recovers quickly, Lindsay. I might reach out to you and ask how that goes, since that might be something we have to do. I don't know a lot about it, but so yeah, that's my 2 loud dogs that we typically hear in the background a lot, or get edited out.
Yeah.
They get edited out quite often.
Yeah, pets of podcasts. Okay, that could be a whole podcast.
Couldn't it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Next idea. Yep.
It could.
I have 2 cats. Most people know this. Molly is the older one. She's a little tabby girl.
Aw.
She'll be 11 this year, which is crazy. I remember when we got her, Molly's technically my cat, because Peter and I had only been living together for like less than a year, and I decided I wanted a cat. He was like, oh my god, that's weird, you know, like it's gonna be around for so long, because he had a cat, Sally, who lived till she was 23.
Cats
So he was like,
yeah.
if we get a cat together, that's like
That's
big
commitment.
stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm like, yeah, well, it's my cat, you know. So I did all this arguing, and of course, he and Molly are like the love story of this house.
Aw.
Like, I don't know what he's gonna do if/when she departs this mortal coil, but she's great. She's my little horror. But I kind of love how awful she is. And Tommen is going to be 10 this year, and he's just very needy now. The pandemic has made them both very needy. They're used to having us here all the effing time.
Yeah.
So on days when we have to go to the office, when we come back, they're both just like, and where have you been? We have been hungry. What is this?
How dare you leave us?
But I've
Yeah.
noticed, I don't know if you all have been the same, like our pets used to be really like they wouldn't forgive us quickly if we'd gone away. We'd come back and it'd be a couple of days before they'd warm up. But since the pandemic, if we go away and come back within like 10 minutes, they're like, "We love you, never leave us again." Oh my god! So it's a bit weird, but I mean, fair play to our cats. They have travelled more than some people I know in that they've been around. They were both born just outside of Glasgow, or in Glasgow in Molly's case, and then they moved to Canada for a couple of years and they came back and they live in England now. So I do look at them sometimes and think, like, you know what? You're hardy little buggers, aren't you? So,
that's awesome.
They both had fleas before Christmas, which was annoying, but they seem to have gotten over them now, which is good. I mean, we treated them. I'm not like, I didn't just leave them with fleas and be like, they'll get over it. So yeah, that was a whole barrel.
So you had to fly them.
From that.
Is that right?
Oh. Yes. Yeah. We they flew fancier than us on the way out. We had a really great pet travel agent, which is a job you can have. Had I known that when I was at school, I might have gone for that.
There's
job.
a thing.
That sounds great.
There's a pet nanny.
Yeah.
Job exists, and I'm like, that is brilliant. That is brilliant.
That's what I want.
Yeah,
that is like all I want from life. But we were lucky because we lived in the Saskatchewan, so we were right next to Alberta, which is where they have the Calgary Stampede, which is like a big horse event. And because of that, there are a lot of companies who fly big animals in and out of Alberta. So as long as we could get them to Calgary, it was pretty easy to do. It wasn't the cheapest thing in the world. And I do sometimes think, like, I could have bought lots of fancy cats rather than transporting these two garbage cats that I love very dearly. Yes. But I am a bit like, Jesus, had I known this at the time. But yeah, they flew. They've flown. They've been in planes. They had a whole adventure in Toronto that we don't really know anything about because they when we flew back last January during COVID, they one of their flights got cancelled, but it was while we were in transit, so we couldn't actually do anything about it. And at that point, I was at the level of stress where I just zoned out of everything. So I was like, okay, great, the cats live in Canada now, cool. So they stayed with a woman who I believe was called Wendy in Toronto for 8 days while we worked out their flight arrangements.
Wow.
And then when they landed, we got a text saying, your dogs are on their way. And we were like, oh, crap. And at that point, I remember saying to Peter at that point, I was like, do you know what? If we've got dogs, we've got dogs. I can't do any more stress.
Just going to go with
it. That's
how we live now.
I was like, imagine if it opened up and it had been like 2 German shepherds or something. And I'd been like, oh, good. That's not what I ordered. But thankfully, they arrived. And they were the right cats, because I was part of me was like, we're going to get a completely different animal. So yeah, that was it. So they're both. I do not intend to do any big moves with them now, and they're both keeping well. And Molly in particular is settling into being an old lady, which I think suits her very well. So yeah, that's my brood.
I have one pudgy geriatric curmudgeon Australian Shepherd. I adopted him 3 years ago. We don't know his history. He was abandoned. He was in a shelter for about a month. And like, he's very not outgoing, but like, we've come to really know him really well and his moods and things like that. I mean, he has his own room. He prefers it in there. But he's really become part of the family,
and he's living his best life.
Oh yeah,
he's so cute.
Yeah, he's very attached to me, and I'm the only one who doesn't feed him, which is weird. But I did like go get him from the shelter, so I guess maybe that's why. I don't know. And he made himself at home really fast. Like, we got him from the shelter. He was very quiet and low-key in the shelter, and they had said that he was not doing well at all being in the shelter. So we just got him. Like, I visited him the day before, and then the next day, me and my daughter went and got him. And he just hopped in my car, came in, hopped on the bed. He like, I'm home.
Nice. That's adorable.
You've answered a question for me that I didn't realize. When we were in Canada, we noticed a lot of collie dogs with that kind of dappled light grey pattern on them, and you don't see that in the UK very much at all. And I was a bit like, what is happening in Western Canada that means the dogs have these amazing, lovely coats? And yet the Australian Shepherd, it's actually from the US, according to Wikipedia, kind of western to central United States originally, and I'm like, oh, they must have just hopped up the border up to Canada to make all those Saskatoon specials that we used to see going around.
And they're herding
but they're
dogs.
beautiful.
Yeah,
They're herding dogs.
Yeah, I think Brody has missed the memo on that, so he herds no one.
Yeah.
But
And he's retired.
yes,
so,
he has retired. Yes.
I love it though. I love that color palette. But it was one, when you're somewhere new and you're like, oh, everything's different. The milk's different. The animals are different. I remember looking at them thinking, you don't really see that in the UK so much. And yeah, it must just be, I don't think Australian Shepherds have a huge presence here. So that's so nice. And Daphne, some of your pets have featured in this call. I've seen them in the Zoom background.
Chloe and Oliver. Yeah. I have 4 cats. We have Freya, who is 5. We got her. She was one of those cats that was brought up from Georgia on basically like a life-saving train to up here. And we adopted her a couple of years ago when she was 2. She basically lives in the living room and she's Chris's BFF. Chloe and Oliver, when I bought my house, the next day I went to get cats. Because it was quiet, even though I did have other animals at the time. I wanted cats, and I had been looking. And then we have 19-year-old Jack, who is Chris's cat, and he's a bit of a curmudgeon, but he's also very sweet. And he started now going to bed with me when I go upstairs. Like, I always go to bed before Chris, and he just comes up. And he hangs out on the bed for a little bit, and it's kind of neat. I feel like we finally bonded a bit.
Nice.
But I also have ferrets. I have 4 ferrets. Willow, who is a Terra. Odin, he and Willow are about the same age. They're 3. Echo, who was named after Mr. Echo.
Nice.
From Lost. He's 5.5, and then Milo is almost 7. So he's my geriatric boy, and he really loves having me at home because he's downstairs with me most of the time because they also have their own room, and that's where they stay, except for I let them out, once a day for the evening to hang out, and they come downstairs and get into trouble because Willow, I've never had a ferret like her. She's just completely out of control. She can climb on anything. She actually broke my Jason Voorhees mug that Chris had gotten me. No. Yeah, it's gone. If I hadn't gotten there when I did, the Jaws one would have been gone too.
Oh my gosh.
I saved it.
Bugger.
So those are my psycho animals. Willow is basically called Psycho. It's like, yep,
That's
there
adorable.
She is. Psycho ferret. Yep.
Pretty sure Molly thought her name was Molly No for the first 2 years of her life. I was like, there's one point where I was like, don't think she knows her name. I think she thinks her name is Molly No. I tried it out the other day and she didn't respond. So clearly she's learned, but she was very naughty in her youth. We actually got my mum a kitten at Christmas.
Aww.
Very cute. My mum wasn't very well during the pandemic, not COVID, but she had to get some treatment and stuff while we were overseas, and she lost her cat at the same time, her old beloved cat, and she's been a bit bereft since the cat's gone. And we manifested a cat through happy coincidence and went to pick it up on the 27th. So now my mum is very happy. It's a little black cat called Stevie Bud, who is just the nicest little kitten. So we're very pleased. So there's a new kitten in the family.
Nice.
It's adorable. She's very my mum's like, she's a hooligan, and I'm like, yeah, that's kittens.
It is.
But they're also loving it. She's loving it. So it's really nice. It made my little Christmas, that did.
All right, next question is from Gemma Hall, and she says, which one of the Yellow Jacket girls do you identify most with and why? I will pick Shauna. I don't know what that says about me, but since she did just kill someone. But I think if I had to pick, I don't think I'm quite as a mess as Natalie is, and I don't think I'm quite as cold and calculated as Ty is, and I'm not as crazy as Misty is. But
I think I think our conversation earlier, I think there's a bit of Shauna there. But I identify with Van's aggressive sense of humor a lot of the time about the situation that she's in. But yeah, who knows how that's going to end up for Van. So I would say Shauna / Van, although Peter thinks I have misty-ish tendencies with true crime and citizen detective stuff. But I would never drug people, to my knowledge.
And tie them up in your basement.
We won't go for this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. No, not yet. Not yet.
How about you, Rima? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead, Rima.
Oh, gosh, there's probably for me a blend of Shauna and Natalie. There's definitely been a crazy kind of extreme element to my life that I can relate to Natalie in a lot of ways. But then like Shauna as well, having been friends with people like Jackie, like she has, and kind of, been in that kind of relationship dynamic. I can really relate to some of her adult life. I can, with the exception of this last episode where she took some questionable action. I haven't done that, but kind of feeling like she hasn't quite moved beyond a certain period of her life. Maybe kind of stuck there a little bit. So I kind of see a little bit of both, but probably leaning more towards Shauna a little bit because I've been through some of what Natalie has, but there's that extremism too. Craziness. I'm a little off a little bit like Natalie is. It depends on who you're asking.
I think for me, I can relate to Misty mostly because of the bullying. Like I went through that in school, and Shauna because I've had the friend like Jackie in my life.
Yeah.
And so I relate to that.
Yeah.
And maybe Lottie just because I feel like she's misunderstood, and I feel like I felt like I've been misunderstood by people before, like that my intentions, that I've come forward with good intentions, but people may have misunderstood them for something else. And so I can relate to those three the most, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Lottie. I mean, maybe not poor Lottie for much longer.
No,
but
I don't know.
There's something there. Yeah.
We're going to see sometime. At some point.
Shelley Champagne asked, who is your favourite Zed head and why exactly is it Shelley Champagne? Well, you've answered that one.
We don't have to answer because that is the answer.
Shelley sent a lovely Christmas card, so that's my reasoning. That's why he's my favourite
my
Zed
goodness.
head.
Yeah. I got Ted Lasso stickers in mine. It was amazing. I love them.
I have a massive crush on Hannah Waddingham, so I was very happy with my Hannah Waddingham sticker. It's going in my diary for sure.
Awesome. Shelley's great. She's definitely one of my favorite Zeds. I don't like to single anyone out because I don't want like anyone to feel like they ever get left out, and I'm terrible at like remembering everyone. But Shelley is so fun to be around. It's never boring. She's so vivacious.
I love her. So, I'm actually rooming with her in Atlanta.
Well, you are going to have the best time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a lot of fun.
She's fantastic.
She really is.
When we went on our Hershey trip, our friend Amelie was having trouble with getting her COVID test results that she needed to fly back home to Canada. Mm-hmm. And Shelley and Maria took her on this wild ride. They were... they had to go to the pharmacy and the lab, and then they took her to the I think Harrisburg, Pennsylvania airport where the flight was already gone, and then they like drove to DC to get her on a plane, which she did, and I was just so impressed and amazed with that whole situation. I bet they had a blast doing it too, because they're amazing and hilarious, and
I'm sure
sounds like a film.
Yeah, it could have been a movie for sure.
Yeah.
And it all had a good ending, which is Amelie got home, but
safe.
It was I'm sure it was a little tense there.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question we have is from JC Harris. So he says, if you could give one piece of advice to your high school self, what would it be? And there's a second part or two. How long have you been a part of this group? How did you come to find it?
Wow. High school self.
Gosh.
I know exactly.
By Apple and Microsoft.
Here's a list of stocks that you should buy and invest in. Yeah, definitely. If we're going to go that route, that would be a great piece of advice. I think if I had to give one piece of advice to my high school self, it would be this too shall pass.
Yes.
Good words. Something I don't know that I, probably heard the words, but didn't really take them in during high school years, because when things are really good and you think that you know everything and life is really great, well, this too shall pass. Yeah. But then also when things are really maybe not so great or positive or, very good in your life, or something bad has happened, that this too shall pass. So I think that's something now at my old wizened age, that that's what I would say to myself.
Yeah.
I know.
I think that's great advice.
I would tell myself to be me and not apologize. Because I think I spent a lot of time trying to please too many people and wanting to have friends and wanting to be liked. And I wish I had just been myself, and then I would have had the people around me who wanted to be there, not just because of any way I was behaving or what I was, because when you're a teenager, you try to fit in, and it's just not possible. You end up becoming someone else in those attempts. And I just wish I had stayed more true to myself and just said, you know what? I'm me. And if you don't like it, somebody's going to like it. It's okay. Because things are much better they got much better as an adult.
Yeah. I think it's like in a really similar vein. I think I would just tell myself that it's okay to not be the same as the people around you, and that the things that you're feeling and thinking will become clearer. Like, there's no need to know it all at that point in time. And that, I don't know, in my situation, I don't know, you've been under an incredible amount of kind of pressure from yourself, and you don't need to hold yourself to that standard. Like, have fun. Like, you can have fun. You will never be this youthful and skinny again, so enjoy it. I know you think you look like a whale right now, but trust me, you will look back on these days and be like, oh, damn, I was so hot back then.
I wish I had more appreciation for that. Like, you are never going to look as good as what you do right now.
Right?
I wish I'd
I look at these pictures of myself and I'm like, I thought I looked like the most hideous thing in the world. And I look at myself and I'm like, you were so cute. Like, you were such a cute person, and you didn't see that at all. And I'm sure I'm probably 20 years from now, I'll look back on now and say the same thing. But yeah, and I think I would tell me, like, I don't know, I'd say it's okay to be a bit queer and to not know and to not be the same as the people around you. It's fine. You're gonna find your people, and it's gonna be okay.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think I would like to.
There's a lot of wasted energy trying to be like everybody else and fit in, and
absolutely. Yeah.
As far as how long I've been part of the group, how I came to find it, well, I mean, I listened to the podcast. I ended up subscribing at a higher Patreon level because I wanted access to the Jason and Karen show.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Karen.
I think it was 2019. And I really didn't become active in the group at all at that time. I was happy. It's like, oh, I can have access to the Facebook group. Okay. But I didn't really get active until like March of 2020.
It was right before the pandemic.
It was because we did a listener chit chat.
Yeah. And Daphne and I did a listener chit chat. I called Daphne to do like a warm up because we had never spoken before, and we ended up yapping for 90 minutes.
Yes.
I think for me, the group and the podcast feel different somehow. I don't know. I feel like involvement with the group. I remember there being a point maybe about 2017 where Jason had kind of kicked up the Patreon more, and I think it was Avellino was doing listener chit chats at that point, and I think I did one, and I think at that point it became more involved, because I don't do Facebook proper. I'm only on Messenger, so I kind of just follow with threads and stuff. But yeah, I'm guessing four-ish years at that point.
When did the Patreon group start? I think it was fall 2016.
2016.
And I think I joined in December. So I've been pretty since the beginning, just about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the group, I think that about a month or two, because I don't remember the exact month, but it wasn't like as soon as it kicked off, but I think it was like a month or two after. And I knew about it just from listening to it from the podcast, right? Because Jason would promote it on the podcast and stuff. And I always thought, I'm like a total cheapskate. I'm like, I'm not paying for that's ridiculous. That's like the silliest thing I've ever heard. But kept hearing about it, and through some, because I think I was gonna guest or something on one of the podcasts or something, and it's like, you should really join. I think you'd have fun. And I'm like, okay, it's like not a long-term commitment, right? If I don't like it, I don't have to stay. Well, I've never looked back. I think I joined after the first month or two, and just jumped right in and felt like, wow, there's my people. And it's been great ever since. So yeah, no regrets.
Absolutely. Jason is such an enabler in a great way.
He's that one that caving under peer pressure. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So Laura Willie Swink says, if you could live comfortably, i.e. didn't have to worry about the cost of living, anywhere in the world, where and what would you live in? Artist loft, 200-year villa, hobbit hole, etc. I would live in London because that's a place I've always wanted to be. Ever since I was young. I watched a sci-fi show that took place in London, and ever since I've just been obsessed.
Lovely.
So I've always wanted to live there, and probably in a top floor apartment so that I could overlook everything.
I would live with you. I think for me, there's actually, I know my dream house in London. It's so right. This is so sad. Maybe the person listens to the podcast and they'll phone in and be like, Lucy, you can have the house. I'm so glad that you mentioned it. So Shakespeare's Globe Theatre is on like the banks of the Thames on the South Bank, and attached to it is a house, and someone must live there. Like, it's an oldie, styly house, and someone lives there. Like, it's a private home, and it just is so wonderful because you're right beside all these art galleries. You're right on the Thames, and awesome. Yeah, that would be my absolute dream place to live. But that said, would also consider a cottage in Iceland or west coast of Canada, BC, Vancouver kind of area. It's very beautiful there. I keep looking at all the Yellow Jackets social medias because they film in Vancouver, and looking at like all the stuff they do, and I'm like, oh god damn, it's so pretty. I miss it so. But London above all, I think.
I would probably live at the beach in some kind of tropical climate. I've never been to California or Hawaii, so I can't really say where, but maybe the nicest place that I've been to is down in the Carolinas, I would say.
Nice.
Those are lovely beaches in the Carolinas, right? Yeah.
We went to one last year that was just above South Carolina, right at the border, called Ocean Isle Beach, and it was really nice. It was like small, it wasn't as built up, and the water's just amazing, and I love the ocean. Like, it's warm. It's really a pleasure to get into.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Oh, I would probably end up, if I were in that situation, somewhere along the Amalfi Coast in Italy. And probably in like a restored, like villa, kind of like Under the Tuscan Sun style.
just going to say,
Yeah.
Rima, I can so picture you doing an amazing Under the Tuscan Sun.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's totally what I would be into. And I find the Amalfi Coast it's so beautiful and romantic. I think the weather is perfect. There's the beach that I love. I love, the beach life and the scenery. I think that is where I would land.
Oh, and the food would be
No
good.
kidding. Yeah,
Such
and the
good
wine. Yeah,
oh. Okay, I'm some holidaying with
absolutely.
in
Come
summer.
stay with me in my
Yep.
villa.
And then I'll go
room for everyone.
over to Wendy. And
Yeah.
then so Daphne can be with the cats while I'm doing, and then
Yeah,
I'll look
see?
after the. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, we've
that
sorted it, and then
works,
I'll look
right?
after the cats and the ferrets.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, we're
You
sorted.
can be a
Good. We're
nomad.
good.
Great.
And just hop.
We're definitely good.
Amazing.
I love these questions. I feel like they're kind of thought provoking, like stuff I haven't really thought of. I didn't think about.
So
Yeah.
So
good.
I like it.
All right, Diana Driscoll says, Lucy, I absolutely love listening to your accent, and I was wondering, what is your favorite accent to listen to?
Daphne's.
What?
I'm not
Boston.
kidding.
Mine?
Peter and I were in the car. Yes, you have such a cute accent, and I
Oh
love.
my gosh!
I'd never heard a proper New England accent before I heard you talk. Like, I'd heard people make fun of it and be like, not make fun of you, but like make fun of that accent and be like the way they pronounce certain things. Daphne's hiding in her sweater right now because I'm saying this. But when we were in the car, we were driving over Christmas listening to one of the Yellow Jackets episodes, and we were like, we just love this accent.
Oh
so
my
much.
gosh!
Great. I really like it. But yeah, it's lovely. I when I lived in North America, I liked trying to listen a little bit more for the differences between like regional accents and stuff. And I just think you've got a really, really
Thanks.
lovely accent. So yeah, Daphne's accent. Yeah, that's probably my favorite. But I love listening to it. Like, I like doing accents and mimicking people's voices and stuff, so I always like listening out for specific ways of people talking. But no, Daphne, I've been digging your accent of late, and it's nice because people always talk about my accent, so I always like it when I'm able to compliment someone else on theirs.
I try to hide it sometimes,
Don't
ever.
It's brilliant.
but I hear
Yeah,
it
don't.
when I'm editing Run for Your Lives. I will hear myself like sound what I think is decent, and then I hear the New England, like the
That's
like
who you
that.
are, though. I
Yeah.
love it. I love
You've had some listeners comment on it positively.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I really appreciate it because I'm really self-conscious about it, and I don't listen to myself except for when I'm editing the podcast. I never listen to my episodes ever of anything because I just don't want to hear my own voice. But it really does help when I get someone saying something as sweet as that. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I love it. I think it's just marvelous. I had something profound to say about accents. That was it. I think it's funny how with accents, this goes for everyone. This is not just for Daphne. Is certain words bring it out really, really
Yes.
strongly. So there's some so you can sound completely like, yeah, pretty neutral, and then one word. But I was laughing because we were playing Stardew Valley. That's like the story of my life. We were sitting on the sofa playing Stardew Valley, and we had to go and get some stone for our farm. And I just turned around to Peter and I was like, we're going to have to go to the quarry. And he's like, the what? And I was like, the quarry. And he's like, Lucy, quarry. And I'm like, quarry. And he's like, you said it like a Canadian. And I was like, oh shit. It's because I used to play this game with Canadians and they all say quarry. So I was
Hilarious.
like, sorry.
You do
Egg on
pick it
face,
up.
pronounced that wrong. But you pick up, and I'm awful for code switching. Like, I'll modulate my voice really quickly. Like, when we're in Canada, within about 2 months, I was like softening my T's to D's, so I was saying like Peter instead of Peter and things like that, whereas Peter never did. So we would be like standing in a like there was one really awful incident where we were trying to order a sandwich and I was like, just say tomato, and he's like, no, it's tomato, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're never going to get a sandwich if you don't say tomato. And he's like, I'm not doing it, and I'm like, I'll order it for you. So yeah, some people do, and then we've got relatives who moved to Canada years ago and never lost their accent. But I do I tend to pick up who I'm around, which is quite interesting to listen.
When
to.
you came back to England, did people notice a difference in you?
I think a little bit. I notice it in myself, and I think I notice it more when I'm around people who are from where I'm from. I think it comes out more. And it's weird coming back to England because the accents here are different as well. So like in Yorkshire, it's Sean Bean, essentially, is a Yorkshire accent. Or like the guy that plays Robert Baratheon, they get him to do loads of stuff in York because he's from here. So he like unveiled a statue of a cat and things like that. So yeah, people like drop their H's and everyone sounds a bit like Jon Snow and stuff. So I haven't quite picked that up yet. But occasionally, I think the other thing I've noticed is wearing masks makes it harder to understand people anyway. So I think sometimes we've maybe exaggerated things because we're like, well, we're not, especially in Canada, I was like, we're not going to necessarily be understood straight away because we talk quickly, we're wearing masks, and people aren't expecting you to have an accent. Mm-hmm. So there was definitely a bit of overcompensating for that. But yeah, it's interesting. And, you know, Scotland itself has like loads of different accents. Like the bit I'm from sounds different to the bit where Peter's from and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, no, it's nice. I like that people are nice about my voice. I tell you what, it's horrible coming back to your home country and nobody's impressed with your accent anymore. Whereas in Canada, they were like, oh my gosh, I love your accent. Whereas here, they're just like, yeah, and I'm like, I'm not special anymore. I just sound like everyone else around here. Fine. So yeah, but no, honestly, Daphne, I was literally talking about that just the other week. That I thought your accent was great.
Thank you.
Don't feel bad.
Thank you for saying that.
And I didn't plant Diana to ask that question.
Okay,
it was a happy coincidence. Anwin asks all of us, what is the weirdest, grossest, or coolest job you have had?
Oh boy.
I used to be a ghost tour guide.
That's cool.
That was fun.
I think that's cool.
I used to go down into the vaults in Edinburgh. It was both cool, weird, and gross at different points. So
depends on where you were.
That's my answer to all three. Yeah, it depends on what was happening that night. So yeah, that's mine.
I'm a hospice nurse, and I think people find that weird and gross.
Probably has its moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked on New Balance sneakers. It was one of my transition jobs when I was moving to a new location.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had to sew. I can't remember what it's even called, but a piece of the shoe. So anytime I see shoes, or at least for a while, I would pick one up and look like, this is what I sewed. This little thing right here. I stitched my finger once, and I only worked there for about 6 months because it was not for me. But it was one of those things that I needed a job. And so I found that one, and I was able to move.
Huh. That's amazing.
You know what? I honestly, just thinking back even from early on, like first job and to where I'm at today, there really isn't anything weird, gross, or cool about any of them. I mean, they're just kind of like your everyday kind of mundane kind of things. They're not very interesting. I washed dishes when I was a kid. My mom worked at a restaurant and, washing dishes, that was kind of gross because
oh my God, you see some gross stuff.
Yeah,
right?
And just, I don't know, there's a thing about like standing water in a sink and there's like food that settles at the bottom. That gross. Is so gross. Mm-hmm. So, okay, if as lame as what this is, and that's the deepest I can go at this point, that to me is gross. I hate reaching into a sink when there's been food.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Completely with you.
Yeah, I don't like that texture thing.
It's the same as wet bread. Yeah. Always grosses me. I'm like, no, horrible.
So
completely.
That's the only thing I can come up with. That's kind of lame though compared to everyone else's. But anyway,
my first job out of college, I was a political science major. This is before, because nursing was a second career for me. I worked for an environmental pack, and that sounds probably better than it really was, because it was like slave wages and like 20 hours a week, I would work for the election pack director, which was like what I went to school for. So that was really interesting. We did some really cool stuff. I worked on Tom Harkin's campaign in Iowa and stuff like that. But then 20 hours a week, I actually had to raise my own salary by fundraising, and we would canvass door to door as an environmental person. So that was, I guess, hard and cool, and the people I worked with were really cool. Like it was a good period in my life. I mean, it needed to be brief. So I think I worked there 2 years. So it was good that it was brief, but it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about the world, which I feel like up until that point, like college was pretty much a bubble. And probably most of my life before that was pretty much a bubble as well.
It's one of the things I noticed a lot while I was doing my PhD was I did mine part-time because I self-funded. So I worked all the way through, and I was doing like, I worked at a box office for like 2 years. I worked in an office, like all these other things. And I did feel a difference between those that were solely studying and just doing their PhD and just living in academia, and those of us who had a foot out the door doing other things. Like it felt grounding in a way that I think was really helpful in the long term, because I think a lot of people got a big shock when they finished and suddenly they're like out in the big bad world with nothing. You know, you're just out on the hustle job hunting, whereas I was like, well, you know, I'm doing this, I'm working at this place, I can always do that if all else fails. And yeah, I think everyone should have to work a service job at least one point in their lives, because it teaches you a hell of a lot about humanity.
Hell yeah. Builds character.
Oh, I watch how people treat service staff. I think it tells you so much about them. Like, I cannot. I had an ex who was horrible to service staff and I couldn't stand it. I was like, no, this is awful. You're a horrible person.
Oh, I totally could
it's
not
just
date
not
or
nice.
be with anyone if they were, you know, disrespectful or terrible to service workers. I'm just like, nope, red flag to me. Just because I come from that world.
Exactly.
You know, my mom was a waitress for like 20 years, and that's how she was, you know, single parent raising me. And, you know, so I have a lot of respect for folks in the service industry. I've worked on that end, you know, as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I feel like we're in a bad age for that, because I see so much unkindness and disrespect. And I mean, even at like my local 7-Eleven, but healthcare workers are just being treated horribly right now. Like
it's disgusting.
The behavior that I have seen from grown adults is really outrageous to the people that are taking care of you and sometimes risking their lives to do so in the middle of COVID. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
It's hellish, isn't it? You think about how people are. Yeah. I think the other thing is, like, people can really, what's the word? Sort of pile on. Like, if someone is shamed on Twitter for something or something like that, people really pile on for it. And I try and remind myself that there's a person behind all of that, you know, apart from when it's like total shitheads who do really awful things for humanity at large. Not going to go down that road. But yeah, I think it is a horrible age for that kind of shaming and disrespect and a lack of understanding, I think, about what goes into certain jobs and what keeps things going when there's something awful like a pandemic.
Teachers are going through hell right now. It's awful.
My God. Yeah. All these parents that suddenly had to homeschool their kids and are suddenly like, oh, teachers do like a fuck ton of work. Like, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh God, awful. Just awful. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Kat has some additional questions. She's got a lot of questions here. I think I'm just going to pick one. So we're kind of running on time here. So I hope that's okay, Kat. Let's pick one here. Are you a practical joker, and what's the funniest practical joke you've pulled? If you're not, what is the most memorable practical joke someone played on you?
Oh my gosh.
That's a good one.
You know, I do enjoy a good practical joke. I've been a part of a couple over the years, but one of the best I think that we did when my daughter was 8 or 9 years old. We lived in Texas for a little while, and our entire family is like from here. And we would try to sometimes come visit, like for Christmas or, you know, at least once a year, try to make that trip. One year, though, we were planning a trip, but we told my mom that we couldn't come. Like, sorry, Mom, just not possible to make it this year. But we were coming home. And what we decided to do is that when we got home, we were going to surprise my mom. And the way that we did it is we invited her, we went and stayed at my in-laws while we were there. And we had our in-laws invite her over for to open a Christmas gift, since we were like, hey, we can't be there in person, but we had a gift shipped to you. You need to come over here. It's kind of big. We need you to come over here and open it. So what we did was we wrapped my daughter in a big box, and like you do puppies, right, on Christmas. But we wrapped up my daughter in a present in a big box, and we were hiding in a back room where we could just kind of see what was going on. And as she opened up the gift, Julie just, springs out of the box, and my mom about fell out of her chair and didn't know what was going on, and then realized it was Julie and not like someone coming to attack her. Just have to kind of know my mom. But so yeah, when she realized it was Julie, she just like screamed and started crying and just scooped her up, and it was really fun. So it was good, a nice little prank, but also like a nice, like, kind-hearted kind of thing as well. That's one thing that was memorable.
That is lovely.
I in
my goodness.
In a April Fool's joke, I switched the salt and sugar on my mother. But the joke was on me because she made me my sandwich for lunch that morning, and she put sugar on it.
Oh,
that's memorable.
Oh,
that is memorable.
Gross.
You don't forget that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm drawing a blank on this one. I'm not a practical joker, but I do enjoy when things happen. One thing we did, I don't know if it's so much a practical joke, but one of my closest friends, Douglas, for his 30th birthday, we all got invited down to kind of hang with his family. We'd never really met his family. They lived down in the south of England, and we had an idea the week before that we would get, I don't know if these are as big of a thing in the US, but you can get like celebrity face masks, like with like a photo of a celebrity, and you cut the eyes out and you wear them like as though you are the celebrity. We got those made of Douglas's face, and when he turned up at the pub we were meeting at, there was like 12 of us wearing his face.
That's great.
And it was quite good. I think his family thought we were a little bit strange, but it was worth it. So like, there's all these pictures from the party weekend of just his face, like, and we took all these like funny, weird little not TikTok, but like Instagram videos of us like hiding in trees with his face on and stuff. And so cool. I think he liked it. I think once he got over the surreality of it, he thought it was quite funny. So yeah, that's a good one. I'll see if I can find photos. It was good.
I did two things. One of my good friends is kind of, I used to work with. I got him the job at the place that we were working at, and he'd been kind of a pain in the butt. So I decided to fix him. I took all the keys off the keyboard and put them all in different places on the keyboard so he would see it, and it would be crazy. And then I also, it was back when a mouse had a ball on the bottom. So I put tape over it so it wouldn't work.
Oh, Daphne, you devil!
It was fun. And then once I surprised my grandmother by driving home to my hometown for Christmas, and I actually called her. This was before cell phones, so there was no way she would know where I was calling from. So I actually called her and got on the phone and told her how sorry I was I couldn't come for Christmas, and I even cried. Like, I really did a good job. And then I got to my grandmother's without, she didn't know, and my family came in through the front door and I came in through the basement. And so I just opened the door and started singing, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." And she just said, "You devil, I can't believe you did that to me. I was so upset that you weren't coming, and you even cried on the phone, and oh my goodness, and here you are." It's just, yeah. When you move away from home, when you move away from home, it is sometimes hard to get back. So,
yeah. My youngest once didn't tell me she was coming home for the weekend from college and came home, and that was really nice.
Oh, sweet.
I should be nicer to my mom. I think my mum has a maximum tolerance of me being in the house of 48 hours. Like you can tell when it's time to go. It's like, okay, bye, mum. She's like, okay, bye. I'm like,
oh, that's definitely the relationship I have with my oldest. Like she can only take me in doses.
I kind of respect we both know. We don't name it, but we're both like, yeah, I think I'll go home today. Like it's I prefer that to like prolonging it and being like, we must be happy all of the time. We must be really happy to be here. I like the kind of, okay, yep, we've had it. This is
it's
fine.
Time to
I'll
go.
Away now.
It's
like,
time to go.
Yeah, it's time to leave. Time to leave the party.
Yeah. So Kat did have one more where she just said, please try out some Z-head accents: Irish, Welsh, Scottish, New Zealand, Australian, French, Canadian, German, Danish, and US for Lucy. Sorry if I forgot any international Z-head.
No one wants me to do any of these accents, but I want to hear Lucy do US.
I want to hear Lucy do US. I've had bad comments and feedback on like people telling me, please stop doing your accents on
Reba, no.
So never I'm not doing it I'm not doing any more accents on a podcast. So I love you, Kat, but everyone will thank me for not doing it. But I definitely want to try and hear Lucy's US if you don't mind, Lucy.
Yes.
Of course, yeah. I remember doing an improv game with my old improv troupe where we would just, anytime someone walked in, we would endow them with a terrible accent. So we'd be like, oh my god, it's the Prime Minister of South Africa who's actually from Germany. And they'd be like, what accent am I supposed to do? So this is quite America. I feel like there's a lot of pressure here. So the trick with an accent, I find, in my terrible experience of doing accents, is that every accent seems to have a sentence that you have to say to get into it. So I don't know what my sentence for America would be. Just generic American. Okay, I can do this. Brrr. Okay, I feel a lot of pressure right now.
No pressure.
I'll read something. I'll read, please try out some Z-head accents. So, okay, let's try Irish first. So, Irish is like Derek, so he'd be saying, please try out some Z-head accents. So I can do that. American would be like, please try out some Z-head accents. Is that okay? Is that all right?
Good job.
So good.
Oh, thanks. Cheers. Low pressure there. Low pressure. I'm not even going to try French Canadian. Anytime someone says French Canadian to me, I just go, kilometre, and then like leave it at that. I'm just like, yeah, that's how it sounds. Yeah, so that's my,
how about
my
you,
American
Daphne?
accent.
Any
very
accent?
good.
I can't. Well, I do my accent really well.
You do? Confirm.
Wicked
I
smart.
can. Wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
Park the car in Bar Harbor. That's a good one.
Wicked pissa.
Wicked pissa.
Wicked pissa.
I used to be able to do a Russian one, kind of.
Ooh.
And it just makes me think of, the only thing I can think of to say at the time is, something I overheard once at a coffee shop. No, I'm going to need 4 shots of that.
Ooh, that's good.
Oh, I like it.
And then once I was at a skating competition and one of the skaters fell on a jump and I said shit. And Alexei, who was one of the pair skaters, said to me, no, you must say govno. That means shit in Russian. And that is all I'm going to say about that.
That's great.
It's all you're going to get.
Great. Daphne, you could totally like play a Russian spy. You've got that accent.
Totally apologize to any Russian listeners if you didn't feel my accent was up to snuff, but that's
amazing.
Yeah, that's what I got.
That's awesome.
That's all I have.
That's so good. I love it. Oh, fun. Those were some great questions. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we are running about 3 hours now, so I suppose we should.
If you're still here,
has to edit this.
Let us know, because we're going to give you the VIP.
Yeah, if you're still here, do a double header with the Dexter podcast, and then we'll do 6 hours with us.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
I feel like, honestly,
Excellent.
we need to do this more often so that
I'd love
maybe
that.
it's not going to be 3 hours.
Oh, it probably would be.
It might
Yeah.
be. Yeah,
Knowing
So much fun together.
we
Yeah.
do. This was great.
So, in terms of what we're podcasting on at the moment, I'm on a break. Jason and I are on a break.
Jason
Kabasi.
What does it mean to live for the common good? Introducing the Garrison Institute presents The Common Good, the brand new podcast from the Garrison Institute, a leading not-for-profit organization exploring the intersection of contemplation and engaged action in the world. Hosted by me, Jonathan F.P. Rose, a co-founder of the Garrison Institute, the series dives into the threads that bind us all. First, you'll discover the interdependent nature of life with environmental entrepreneur Paul Hawken and trailblazing plant intelligence researcher Monica Gagliano. Next, we unlock the mysteries of the mind with renowned psychiatrist Dan Siegel and Pulitzer Prize-winning author Siddhartha Mukherjee. Finally, we experience compassion in action with social justice activist Conda Mason and environmental leader Bill McKibben. We invite you to listen, reflect, and join us in acting for the common good. Follow the Garrison Institute presents The Common Good on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening now.
The town of Milton may seem normal at first glance, but the shadows are cursed and the expansive woods surrounding town are forbidden. They call it the Void, and nobody comes back alive.
You're headed straight for the Void!
Milton lives suspended in time, trapped by a darkness that seems to be creeping closer and closer.
It's safe. The Void is kept at bay.
Is it though? Join 3 friends as they embark on an epic journey into the heart of darkness. The Void, wherever you get your podcasts.
This is just the beginning.